Okay, welcome back to Chapter 5, Part 2, where we're going to continue on with our discussion on scope management. So let's talk about the work breakdown structure and what that is. A work breakdown structure, or a WBS, it's a deliverable-oriented grouping of all of the work that you're going to do in relationship to the project, the total scope of work. Now I want you to notice that it says deliverable-oriented grouping. It's very important that as the early stages we define what those deliverables will be for the project, because based on the deliverables for the project will be how we organize and how we put together our work breakdown structure. It is also a foundational document that provides a variety of help to us throughout our project, throughout our execution. Our work breakdown structure becomes our project schedule. It also helps us define our project costs, what resources we're going to need, because through our WBS we are going to develop tasks and activities along the way. You'll hear the term decompose or decomposition, and decompose means that we take the project deliverables and we subdivide them into smaller pieces, which are tasks or activities. So if website is a deliverable, well, what do we need to do in order to get to the end deliverable of a website? Okay, so you start to decompose that deliverable of a website into all of the various tasks or activities that are necessary. A work package is a task at the lowest level of the work breakdown structure, and when we baseline a work breakdown structure, we use that as a way of helping to report on project progress. So it is an approved point in time where we have decided that our project scope is where it is going to be. It has been approved that this is the scope of work that's going to be done as a result of the project, and we baseline the project, being that we set it at a point in time, and then we work the project. And as we work the project, we then report on the project's progress using the project scope baseline. Work breakdown structures can look a couple of different ways. One of them is this chart form you see, where up at the level 1 we have the entire project, which is an intranet project. Rather vague, but okay. And then level 2, under intranet project, we have level 2 tasks, which are concept, website design, website development, rollout, and support. Now those are probably your high-level deliverables right there, and then under each one you will see, under level 3 and level 4, you'll see tasks that are associated. Notice that under concept for level 3 we have evaluate current systems, look at the as is. We need to define our requirements, we define specific functionality, we define, develop. So under concept, these are all of the tasks that may be done. But then notice that under define requirements there are still more tasks that might be done. Okay, so this is a chart that looks very much like an organizational chart. Okay, you can also put it together in a tabular form. Now what you see down here underneath is, in the tabular form, is exactly what you see up above in the chart format. It's just depicted slightly differently than the visual that's done in the chart. What we will be doing, and what is most frequently done in projects, is the use of some project management software. We are going to be using Microsoft Project, and then we will be defining the tasks and the deliverables in Microsoft Project. Now notice that you have the exact same chart and tabular data that has been dumped into what's referred to as a Gantt chart in Microsoft Project. Now on the left side are the tasks and deliverables. The deliverable with the subtasks or the tasks that are necessary to achieve the deliverable. And then over on the right, the schedule, because when we add tasks to our work breakdown structure, we are able to determine how the duration of the task, when the task needs to start, when it needs to finish. We can assign resources to tasks to get those tasks completed. Lots of talk about the work breakdown structure we will be working through using Microsoft Project throughout this class. But this is a basic view of what a Gantt chart looks like in Microsoft Project. And again, that is the same data that you had in the chart or the tabular form up above that's just been translated into project software. So here's some things that you need to know about scope management plan. You need to be able to understand what is a scope management plan and what is a requirements management plan. Understand the difference and understand how the two work together. What is change control, and how does change control help us manage requirements and scope? Okay, we didn't touch on that in the discussion. It is in the textbook though. Please be sure you take a good look at that. Remember that scope is part of the triple constraint. And one of the ways that we want to manage the triple constraint is that we need to manage changes to our scope of work. We want to make sure that changes do not cause our scope of work to get out of control and set off a problem with our triple constraint. So what are some of the techniques for gathering requirements? I went over that. We discussed what is a WBS, and in your text there's some good information about how to decompose deliverables into work packages in order to create a work breakdown structure. Definitely go back and make sure you understand exactly what we mean by a baseline and what is a Gantt chart. You want to know some approaches to creating a work breakdown structure, but most importantly, why is a WBS so important? We are going to be diving into the work breakdown structure throughout the class. And how is a work breakdown structure used to report status to a project? A work breakdown structure dictionary, or a WBS dictionary, is a supplemental document. We will not be doing them in our project, but you should understand what it is because they are done in a lot of more complex projects. A work breakdown structure will help define deliverables and tasks with more detail. Typically in a work breakdown structure, notice where you see 1.2.1 where it says define user requirements, define content requirements. Well, those three simple words may or may not give you a good solid picture of what exactly will be done as a result of that task. Okay, so a work breakdown structure dictionary helps to take that task and give more context to it so that we understand it better. We also want to understand how to validate our scope of work because it's critical that we validate what we're done to make sure that it's correct. Okay, that's what I have for you on Chapter 5. Of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You guys know how to get a hold of me, and I hope this has been helpful.